Hi there, I'm back again. This is Mitchell Sellon. Welcome to YouTube. For all you fathers out there that are protecting your children, I give you thumbs up. Stand up for them. Do everything you can in your power to protect your children. They're the only ones that you got. They only have one life, and they should be able to live that life abuse-free. Should there be any parent out there that finds themselves in a situation that they're angry, or they cannot control themselves and always resort to using your hand, or being verbally abusive, I encourage you to do one thing. Imagine that you are in those child's shoes. Put yourself in their shoes when you're angry, and ask yourself one question. If you were the child and someone else was the adult, would you want that adult to come and hit you? Would you want that adult to come to you and be verbally and or physically abusive to you? Would you want that? Obviously the answer is going to be no, and I want you to sit back and I want you to think about it. I want you to take the time to 5 seconds, 10 seconds to think about what you're how you're impacting that child in a negative way. There are many different types of discipline. I think the best type of discipline is love. You can show a child love and attention and get the child to behave properly. You do not need to use your hands physically. I'm not talking about corporal punishment. I'm talking about physical abuse and mental abuse. My definition of physical abuse is if you use something, if you have to take your shoe off and use your shoe to hit a child, if you pick up a stick to hit a child, if you take your hand and you hit a child and it leaves bruises, that's child abuse. And I don't give a damn what country you're from. No matter what country you're from, those children are still children, and they deserve to not be abused. They deserve to be able to live a free, healthy, happy life. And that's why I support my children in everything that they do. You have the state of Utah, and a ton of people, starting from the prosecutor's office, the attorney general's office, the governor, they're all in this movement, this movement of people that are a movement of illegal Hispanics, immigrants from everywhere, gay rights, people of that sort, people of that nature, in that movement that you've seen happening down in the southern part of the United States, where they were toppling statues. They're trying to take America out of America. These are the group of people that are here now that have hijacked Utah. Now we've got Sim Gill, that's been the attorney, what do you call this, attorney anyway. You've got the governor, you've got the mayors, you've got all these people now that are in seat, that you can clearly tell that something drastic has changed in Utah. 1 and 1 does no longer equal 2. It's a very, very corrupt state now, especially in Salt Lake County. it seems to me that, in my opinion, that what is most important in this situation is that it's the pro-woman movement that seems to be running everything. The pro-woman movement, the pro-illegal drug, the pro-drug, the pro-this, you know, in that entire movement that is more important to those people than the welfare of children. Don't be baffled by you know, these programs out there, these groups of people that say that they are against domestic violence and violence against this and that. Those are only words. So you don't put a lot of faith in words. You look at their actions. So far, what I have done over the past 2.5 years is I wrote the Obama, I wrote Trump, I wrote the Department of Justice, I wrote Homeland Security, I wrote ICE because she's an illegal immigrant, which ICE stated after verifying her being illegal, stated that yes, well, we understand that she is eligible to be deported, but we don't have any beds. So because they don't have any beds to deport her, to house her until she gets deported, my children then has to endure more abuse and neglect from a parent or a woman that just doesn't know how to behave herself and be a parent. She has a significant anger issue, and as she has told me 3 times in different settings, completely different times, when I get angry, I just can't stop. She starts off with, I know I have a problem, but when I get angry, I just can't stop. Well, I'm here to stop you because my children deserve to live a life abuse-free. Right now, in, of course, my opinion, you've got a guardian ad litem that my children, my son at least, told about the abuse, told him everything that happened. And then the guardian ad litem comes out, and after my son tells him that their mom said that she tried to kill him, he issues his opinion suggesting that we should have shared custody. Yeah, good guardian ad litem, huh? Thumbs up, buddy. Now my children have been abused more and neglected more, and are being tortured right now because they're not able to see their dad. I have contacted probably every attorney in this state, at least in this county. Not one attorney has enough guts to stand up against the prosecuting attorney here, which is Sim Gill. They do not have enough balls to stand up and fight for 2 little innocent children that deserve to live a life abuse-free. And this state preaches that they're all about children. That's bullshit. That is not true. That is a lie. It's not your words, right? It's your actions that prove who you are and what you do. So if you want to prove who I am, look at my actions. Look at what I've done and how far I've gone to protect and defend my children. It's your actions that speak louder than words. I am doing these videos so that they're educational, so that it protects my children, so that these people will hopefully learn that they're not going to silence me. Right? It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I'm an American citizen. My children are American citizens. We're supposed to have the Constitution to back us up. We're supposed to have the civil liberties. we're supposed to have every American asset available. And as far as I can tell, as Trey Gowdy in the Congress has stated, that illegal immigrants are not afforded protections by the law, under the law. This individual mother has had every single protection that there is, and 100 times more. She's not paid 1 ounce for any of the crimes that she's committed. Child abuse, attempted murder, theft, delinquency of a minor, potentially arson, and yet to be proved. But I think it's one hell of a connection, because in my book, houses don't burn down accidentally on court dates. And in fact, it was on her court date, and it was later the same day. And I would love to have an explanation as to why Utah is not investigating arson, because it was not an electrical issue. And I ain't buying that bullshit, because everybody knows the truth. Unfortunately, that is the reason, or the reason is because it stems from a huge amount of fraud, bank fraud and corruption that I uncovered on the property, on this home and property that I purchased in 2013 in Duchesne County. The fraud and corruption was coming from the county officials, or at least was being hidden by them, and it had to go through them in order to facilitate the loan that was acquired on the home some 17 years or so previously, where when the home was under foreclosure, the state recorder's office and planning whatnot allowed a property line adjustment to go through, and they acquired a loan on the second property to then pay off the foreclosure on the first property, and all that had to pass through the county offices in order to be allowed to happen. And then the county recorder, Carolyn Madsen, told her employees, and this came from one of her employees, while I returned to get some assistance over there in the recorder's office in Duchesne County. I returned to get some assistance, and she, because she helped me find the right-of-way that was hidden for the property. When I returned to get some more assistance from her, she pulled me into the back room, or we walked to the back room, and she says, "I'm no longer able to help you. We were all told that if we help you again, that we're fired." And so I received no more help, and that was the red flag that just kind of stood up out of everywhere. I realized that that there were some significant issues with the property and the people surrounding the property, in which they were trying to steal my right-of-way. So, which they had no access or no right to having, even though the local police was trying to ensure and sway me, and told me that if I don't allow them access to my right-of-way, that they had no legal right to, that I would be arrested. Good old Duchesne County for you. So they had several officers come up there at that time, and I've indicated many a times that they need to stay off my property. I don't like the corruption that is involved in that county out there. So nevertheless, that's probably the reason why I could never get a protective order or any actions out of that county concerning my children. And so again, it comes from the state employees, corruption, organized crime, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that even more coming up in some other sections, some other videos. all of this can be documented, by the way. So thank you and have a great day.